Deforestation, the greatest threat to human history. For years, our planet has been suffering from the cutting down of trees, which leaves a massive carbon footprint in the atmosphere.
Deforestation affects society more than you might know, and our generation is the one to stand.
The harmful action of cutting down trees can lead to
Habitat loss, disease, pollution, climate change, and loss of indigenous homelands, to name a few.
our biodiversity is at risk every day because of deforestation. The habitats of many animals are being destroyed daily due to human activities. Forests are the homes of many mammals, insects, and plants. The removal of trees reduces the availability of those species' food, shelter, and breeding grounds.
With the loss of animal habitats, many species are automatically sent to the path of extinction. At this rate, 137 species of plants, animals, and insects are lost every 24 hours. Just in the past year, 2020, 15 species were declared extinct.
Some animals that are affected include the panda, Asian elephant, jaguar, and tiger. Plants that are endangered include the orchid, mangrove trees, etc. These animals and plants struggle to survive in areas other than the forest.
Other than the animals being affected by deforestation, new diseases emerge as a result. The harmful greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, are released into the atmosphere. Studies show that deforestation has triggered a range of deadly pathogens, such as malaria, dengue fever, Lassa virus, and Lyme disease.
Trees play a major role in reducing symptoms of diseases through its bark or leaves. Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, and Lou Gehrig's disease have seen many improvements from plants and trees as natural remedies. Carbon dioxide that is released into the atmosphere makes crops become less nutritious, which leads to higher rates of malnutrition.
Global air quality becomes more polluted as well because of deforestation, and that leads to all species on Earth breathing dirty air, which also causes increased illnesses. When trees are cut, the water vapor in them is released, which makes an environment more humid and amplifies the effects that come from released carbon dioxide.
Not only does deforestation affect air quality, but it also affects water quality. The loss of forests can cause soil erosion, which can increase runoff into rivers and bodies of water, decreasing the water quality. The balance of the water cycle is disrupted by deforestation, since polluted water is not able to be released back into the atmosphere. This shows that if polluted water reached public drinking water systems, it could have serious health threats.
Trees naturally absorb carbon dioxide and they release oxygen back into the atmosphere. But when they're cut down, the carbon stored in them is released, polluting the air. When carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, it damages the ozone layer, which then allows the transfer of harmful sun rays to enter into the atmosphere. These rays sometimes are reflected back into space or they remain in the Earth's atmosphere, warming the planet.
Climate change brings about dangerous weather patterns and more severe living conditions. Intense droughts, storms, heat waves, rising sea levels, melting glaciers, warming oceans, and insect outbreaks are all linked to climate change. With the warming of the Earth, all living organisms are at risk. Animals in Antarctica are facing the melting of their habitats, just like penguins and polar bears.
Forests are not only the homes of animals and insects, but are also the homes of indigenous human populations. Deforestation causes the many deaths of indigenous peoples as their lands that they once called home are being destroyed and cleared away. These people depend on the forest to maintain their ways of life.
When large companies come into forests and steal the lands of the indigenous, they are forced to flee their homes and live in poor areas. Indonesia has a large forest area with millions of indigenous people. Every day, the people there struggle from deforestation because of their limited access to clean water and food, so they are forced to live in unsanitary conditions.
Deforestation is primarily caused by human activity. The primary causes include agricultural expansion, infrastructure expansion like building roads, extracting oil, overpopulation, livestock ranching, and wasted use of paper.
Although you may not notice that you are causing harm to the forest, it is important to pay attention to your actions. By taking simple steps, you can play a major role in stopping deforestation.
Even though there are negative effects of deforestation, there are also positive effects, which are a driving force in major companies to continue their efforts in cutting down trees. The idea of industrialization and urbanization brings more revenue to governments and increases job availability. They like to have larger economies that will promote prosperity in the future.
With an increase in farmable lands, along with more urbanization and jobs, there is more food production available, as trees do not take up so much space as they used to. The main use of trees compared to everything else is the creation and use of paper and wood products. These products are used every day, and at least 30% of paper is trashed every 24 hours.
The negative effects definitely outweigh the positives in deforestation. Along with the topics previously mentioned, habitat loss, poverty, disease, climate change, loss of indigenous lands, and pollution, there are also higher risks of wildfires, droughts, and floods, loss of healthy forests, impact on local water supplies, and destruction of economic revenue.
Since deforestation causes climate change and the warming of the earth, temperatures begin to rise significantly, increasing the risk for wildlife and droughts like we see in California. Deforested areas are prone to increased fires and their area across land. Governments who gain economic profit from tourism of their forests, like in the Amazon forest of Brazil, will be deprived in the future of their profit, since much of the forest will be destroyed.
Although large companies do not realize this, there are millions of hectares of forests being cut down just for their economic benefit. 1 hectare is approximately the size of one football field, and globally, around 10 million hectares of forests are destroyed. Can you imagine the size of that? Although over the years, the amount of hectares cut annually have decreased, a couple million is still a large amount, and an amount to be worried about.
It's time for all of us to work together and to stop deforestation and decrease the risks of extinction.
Even though a lot of people know what deforestation is, they rarely know its effects and how us humans are in grave danger because of them.
It is important for us to spread awareness on this situation to lessen its impact.
There are many ways that you all can help stop deforestation.
You can use less paper,
Recycle,
donate money to nonprofit organizations,
plant a tree or take care of your garden,
don't buy products that contain palm oil,
use search engines that will donate their profits to deforestation relief funds,
eat less meat,
buy organic paper products,
avoid processed foods,
and avoid littering to prevent further pollution.
Only when the last tree has been cut down do we realize we cannot breathe money.